Hari Om and welcome to all the divine Atma Jyotis. Let us continue our Aparoksha Anubhuti contemplation. So we are right now on the day two talk by Sri Prabhuji. And our Deepaji, you have shared your views, correct?
Yes, sir.
So we, till question 5, I think you have shared your views, if I am not wrong.
Yes, sir.
And from question 6, we started contemplating in our last session.
Yeah.
Can you please remind who we began with? Do you remember? Who all have shared?
Rupa was sharing, I believe.
Rupaji was sharing. Okay. Okay, so then rest of you have to also share your view on question 5 onwards, right?
Question 6 onwards.
Sorry, question 6 onwards.
Yes, sir.
I have done, sir. I have completed. I think even Shubha did couple of questions.
Okay, so you mean when you completed all the till 12, is it?
Yeah, yes, sir.
Okay, all right. So it is then Sarananji, Rupaji, and then Satyaji, and then Deepaji, right? Who have to share.
Yes, sir.
Okay, all right. Who would like to begin today? Rupaji said that she wants to listen. So
from where do you like? I can start from beginning, or
no, have you shared your views from till question 5?
not really, but yeah.
Would you like to?
Oh, okay. Okay.
So see if today you can cover all.
I can keep it short and I can continue.
Yeah, go till next set of questions also.
Yeah, so starting with the first question. So I'm not the body, mind, intellect. What's the limitation being negated, right? How does this negation help? So the question, it starts with the feel of limitedness, which drives one to go acquire more and more in terms of wealth and connections, power, running around, health, everything. So that is because of the initial understanding, the community given knowledge, which is like you are this body, you need to take care of this body, you need to have more knowledge, degrees, and you need to train your mind and like get off those more degrees, which will lead to more and more of everything, right? So seeking this more and more starts with the acceptance that I am limited, right? So that's the biggest error, and that's where the Vedanta goes towards that the correction that you are not what you are thinking, that this body mind, because starting with a wrong knowledge leads to completely wrong path, which is a waste of time, right? And if I have the wrong destination in mind, I'm going to travel for long in the wrong direction, right? So that's why this limitation has to be removed. And how it is being said is basically it is very easy for me to see that this body has been changing from birth to where I am, and the mind has been changing, the intellect has been changing, and since I can see that changing, I cannot be that changing. right? So that's how I can come to the conclusion that I cannot be the changing one. I'm not this. I cannot be this body, mind. I'm that I is in me in the form of that consciousness which is witnessing these changes. Right? So that's how I would, and that basically helps me to then, if this is corrected, then the way I would carry on will become different. Right? That's how I see the first question. Okay. And the second thing is then, like, if I'm not this body, mind, or intellect, and just who am I? Right? Like, how can one explain who are you, right? Because we are used to giving a definition to everything. Right now, the negation has been done. Then if I'm not this, then what am I? And that's where the concept of, like, we bringing Atma. I'm this Atma, and the it's given in a very very easy to say, but like one cannot like accept it right away, because it said that, like, this is Atma, which is this pure existence, which gives that existence and consciousness, which makes one to say that, like, I exist, I am there, and the bliss, which is that unlimitedness, right? Because that's what is being first negated, right? Unlimitedness. Then can I see something like that? This is the next question. Then we are getting into this concept of the seer and the seen, right? The objects are seen, while the seer is the ultimate seer. The seer himself cannot be seen, because there is nothing beyond that seer, right? And what are these? So since I cannot see, how can I explain about this seer? Then we get into this characters of Niramaya, Nirabhasho, Nirvikalpa, all these things, which is basically changeless, birthless, deathless, ever pure, like Nitya Mukta, like there is nothing to achieve anymore. It's already liberated, always liberated. It cannot fall back from bondage to liberation. It is always liberated, cannot be changed, cannot nothing can attach to it. It is like non-stick, right? Everything else can happen, but it does not get impure. And so it is basically the way I always use the example is the sun. The sunlight falls on a clear river and drainage, right? It just illuminates it, but it doesn't change, because what it's illuminating between the clean water and the drain water. It's so that way it is the one, the light behind all the things that are seen, but like the nature of this Atma is like it is ever pure and unchanging and unlimitedness, unborn and no death, always liberated. So that's how. So I first negate it with the logic, and then I try to explain then how is it for someone to visualize it, because you cannot see it, because again what we see is all objects, while that is the subject. The subject is the ultimate one, and the nature of the subject is given in the second question, right? With the answer. Then the question of this illusion of separation, right? So So this separatedness, which is I and others, right? The way I see it, is it an illusion? Right? First of all, I can clearly see that for a beginner, the duality is very obvious. That like my body ends here while everything else is the world, and which is again the reason for all the problems, which is I am here basically means I am first drawing a boundary saying limited. I am this limited entity, and everything else is the unlimited outside the world. And the moment this separation happens, the problem starts, and that's where the explanation goes towards the oneness. There is only one, and what one sees, the separation is an illusion. And how do you explain this illusion, right? How do you explain this illusion is so where does this boundary like does it end with this physical boundary? And if one explores, it's very easy to say that like if you take a family, if the boundary is only me, whatever affects in the family shouldn't affect one, but that's not the case, right? The child gets sick, and obviously this me gets affected, which means it's not that physical boundary is not me. It looks like there is something beyond. And then if I continue to take this in the space, right? It's not just my real family. With respect to others, the real family comes, and then like if you the near family, and then like it goes to the extended family, and then it goes to the state, always in context with something bigger, right? The state, and then with the country, right? So it keeps expanding. That means looks like there is no real boundary, and it is just that one can for a moment one can draw a boundary and say, but there is no real boundary. It keeps, right? So what is not, if it is not a real boundary, then that's an illusion. Then clearly it's an illusion, right? So and trying to live with that unreal boundaries is again will lead to problems, right? Right. So that's how I would explain the illusion of separation. And at the end of the day, we all share the same space. If even in taking the materialistic world view, right? It's all in the same space, and so there is no boundary at all. You cannot draw a clear boundary. There is no separation at all. There cannot be. People are breathing same air, breathing in, breathing out, and take the water, it's flowing, and that's what people are drinking. And the food one is consuming, it's somewhere and it moves, right? So there is no separation. It's so that is something that has to be understood, right? Shall I continue with 4 and 5, or?
Yeah, please.
Yeah. So how to arrive at the light of the light understanding from an outside object. Yeah. So light of the light is basically so again it's going back to the question of how to explain this self, this the real one, which is every object is illuminated by sun, which is a common experience. But the sun itself is there only when the eyes are open, when the seeing happens. right? When the sense organ, the eyes operate to see the sun. So, which means one is the one that is bigger than all the material, the world is the sun, because that is the one that is lighting, that is giving, that is showing what is there. If not for that, like, there is no world. But then even bigger than the sun is the seeing action in this body, because if the person cannot see, even nothing exists. Even if sun is lighting the materials, the world, it's not there, right? And then if you go beyond, even for that seeing, beyond the seeing is the mind, which is making sense out of what is being seen, right? Which means the mind is bigger than the sense organ. And how is this mind? Is it does it have the life of its own? No, because one goes through the sleep and waking, which means like the mind also goes down and then comes up. So there is someone behind the mind which is powering the mind, which is the Atma. So that's why Atma is said as the light of the light, right? The the one that lights everything else, and everything else is only seen when that because of the power of this light. That's how I would explain. And so distinguish between this material and intelligent cause. So now the question comes, so how did the whole thing come into picture? So, okay, I'm not this body, and this world is an appearance, and there are no me and other. Then how did this whole thing come into picture, right? So who is creating this? The question moves to, like, if this whole thing is seen, like, there has to be some creator who is creating this, and why did he create this, and what did he use to create this? And since it's very easy to see the example of the clay being used to make pots, right? Where a potter is sitting and doing it, is it something like that, right? And there, if you go and see that, so now that one understands that, like, this is an illusion, that means there is no duality, that means there is one, there is no other, right? And if there is no other, and if there is really one and no other, and how did this world appear, right? So so basically the creation, the world itself is an appearance from this from the real one. A good example is one in dream. The one in dream sees a world with lot of things moving, lot of action happening, and when he wakes up, it's not there. And which means in the dream it looked very real, but when you wake up, it's not there. And all those characters in the dream, they didn't come out from anywhere. It came out from the one who's dreaming. Right? So that can be used to explain this example of that there is only this one Brahman, and the whole thing can be seen as a dream of this Brahman. Right? And so the real one is that Brahman only. And it is the creator, and the another example to explain this would be the spider spinning the web. How the spider did not use any material outside. It uses its own saliva to create this web, and then it takes it back, right? So the same way, the world did not come out separately from a different thing, was not created by the Brahman. It is one still. It's the same, the ultimate reality, Brahman only. And stop that.
Excellent.
Yeah. Thank you.
Are there any questions to Sarananji? Anyone has any particular question? So Sarananji, I would like to prompt one question.
Mm.
See, in all this,
Mm.
the answer that is coming out,
Mm.
is it based on what you read and heard from Aparoksha Anubhuti,
Mm.
or are you able to see that you already have this as an experience, and whatever you are hearing and seeing through
Mm.
Aparoksha Anubhuti is only validating? Which of these two? Is the question clear?
Yeah. One, definitely it is coming from the learning, right? And am I able to see? So I would say am I able to feel it? Many times I'm able to I'll put it in two ways. One is that state where this body is driven by the mind, by the subconscious, and where I don't, or the thinking is not happening outside that action. And then when the thinking is happening in a conscious way, I can see these in real as well. Okay, so for example, when I said the separation, right? I'm able to see it now that it's not just me. If I'm at home, what is happening in the family affects me, which means I'm much bigger than this limited body, right? So same way, if I'm at work, I if something is not working well with someone, I don't see it as other. It again, I feel that you know what, it is still me, right? If one part of the body is not working, you try to take care, and that's how I'm able to see it based on the knowledge I get, right? So I'll put it again. So that's what I said, the two parts, right? There are times of the day where I'm just traveler in the boat, taken by the mind. And then there are times where I'm awake, and when I'm awake, yeah, I can see the learning, and it makes sense to me, and I'm in that thought.
Okay. So let me pose the. I know you answered, but let me pose the question more like a particular choice you have to make. Is the knowledge clarifying your experiences, or is the knowledge
Vijayji, I lost you for last 10 seconds.
okay, all right. Let me repeat. Okay. So I know you answered. However, now I want to ask the question in a little more like a choice making way. Is the knowledge, option A, giving you a new experience? Option B, clarifying your experience? Option C, something else or combination?
Yeah, it's definitely giving a new experience and clarifying, I would say both, clarifying what I'm going through. Right? There is clarity on what is happening and why it's happening. And the depth of misery, I would say, right? That is that depth is going away. Right? That's why I said I still shift between these two worlds. I live where like I am in that world, or like I would say like unconscious, maybe the dream world, and then there is this awake. The dream world, it just has taken me. If, for example, it's if I'm working, right? It's the dream world. Now I will put it that way. The way the time I'm working, I do go to sleep from the jnana point of view, right? And so the point I would say is like trying to be awake all the time, even when things are happening, busy, things are lot happening. Can I be awake and still see it?
So you're choosing option C. So option A was,
yeah,
the knowledge is giving me
a new experience and it's clarifying.
Option B was, the knowledge is clarifying my experience.
Yes.
Option C is something else, and you are choosing option C.
So combination of this, I would say, right?
Is what you are saying.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, Padmaji, what is your view on these three options? Which option would you choose?
Another option can be, Vijayji, the experience giving us knowledge.
The experience giving us the knowledge. Okay, so I'm framing the question in a particular way. Please see if it makes sense and whether we need to add this choice. What I'm asking is Aparoksha Anubhuti the knowledge, in terms of, whether the scripture itself or taught by Prabhuji, this knowledge. So this is coming to us as knowledge, right?
Yes.
Now the question is this knowledge, option A, giving you a new experience?
Yes.
This is option A.
Yeah.
Option B is, no, it is only clarifying my current set of experiences.
Okay, let me explain, Vijayji, why I said both. I will put it this way.
Sorry. Let me just bring it first of all closer to Satyaji's point.
Okay.
And option C is something else. It may be combination or something else. Now Satyaji is asking us to add a fourth option. So I'm asking Satyaji, the way it's framed now, do we need a fourth option?
Yeah, this is from the Aparoksha Anubhuti point of view.
Yes, Prabhuji. Yes, Vijayji, what you said is right. I was just thinking, whatever knowledge that we gain out of this Aparoksha Anubhuti, we try to relate it. When you are looking at everything in that perspective, definitely there is a different experience. At least the experience with, whatever ignorance we had, that is removed, and there is a different experience of everything. And the second option you're saying is?
So first option is Aparoksha Anubhuti is giving me new experience. Second option is Aparoksha Anubhuti is clarifying my current set of experiences.
Yeah.
Option C is something else.
Yes, it is a combination of both, as Sarvananji is saying, because whatever is happening outside, those experiences are actually clarifying whatever is said in Aparoksha Anubhuti.
Okay. So you also are choosing A and B combination. Okay. So now that fourth option is not necessary in this question, correct?
Yes, Vijay.
Okay. All right. Fair enough.
Yeah, Vijay, I just want to add again, right? So why I said both? It's like before this jnana, the world experience was there, and there was always this confusion: why is it happening, and all these things, right? this is basically putting light on that, saying what is the nature of this world. Okay, so that is basically giving clarity to that to this experience which I'm going through. And then it is putting light on the thing that I did not know on the real nature, right? Which is why I said, like, it is giving me the new experience, saying, oh, this is it, which makes sense. Okay, so the knowledge is giving the new experience by lighting that part which I was not aware of, and it is making it very clear on the current experience, the world experience that I go through.
Okay.
Removing the ambiguity, confusion on why the world is running in a way.
Okay.
So that's why I said both.
Both. Okay. Yeah, and Satyaji also is in the same way expressing. Padmaji?
Sir, I'll go with B.
B.
Sir, am I audible?
Yeah, B.
You're audible.
With B.
All I heard is I go with, and then I couldn't hear clearly.
So B.
No, I said I'll go with B, the option B.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you explain?
Yeah. So why I am thinking B is how I thought was what is experience for me? Whatever is happening in the here and now, after it happens is what it is an experience. Right now, it's just whatever I'm going through in the here and now. So I don't think there is any new experience, because that is something which I will only evaluate later, whether it's a new experience or something else. When it is happening in the here and now, it is only a situation, and I am dealing with it. That is all. So for me, it is only that Aparoksha Anubhuti is clarifying my current set of experiences, what I feel. Because all this evaluation post-mortem is only happening later, isn't it? When I am in the situation, there is no, I'm not thinking about whether I am, okay, this is the situation, what is Aparoksha Anubhuti saying, all this is not coming into my head at that moment. Yeah, there might be some subtle changes which would have happened within me as a result of all this scriptural study. However, that will again be available for me for evaluation only post the event, post the experience, post whatever I went through. So the experience part, where I need to clarify it or evaluate it, is coming for me later. So it is only clarifying my current set of experiences, and which is the experiences are obviously changing every time, right? It is not the same. It is changing with every moment. That is how I feel, sir. It is not giving me any new experience.
Okay, that is where Saramanji would say, no, earlier I used to think I am this person, and if somebody were to call me donkey, I would get insulted. But now with Aparoksha Anubhuti, I know I am Brahman. So no more that insult is affecting me. So it's a new experience. I'm now more peaceful. The peaceful me, even when there is a situation, is a new experience.
No, sir, I don't think that's a new experience for me. Because I think there was never a time that you did not know that you are Brahman. Right. It is only the ego that is giving coloring, that was coloring it differently. So now maybe I am able to identify that this is my ego, this is not my ego, something like that. That thing would have come in. So again, it is only clarifying my current set of experiences at all time. It is not giving me a new experience. I mean, isn't that what even the scriptures say? You already are that. So you know it also inherently. That is why it is easy to accept also, no, in many cases. Only thing is, when it comes to application part, it is difficult. It is difficult only in the application. Whatever we are, whatever the scriptures are teaching us or pointing us towards, that is only difficult in application. We already know that.
Okay, excellent. Deepaji, would you like to chime in with your choice?
Sir, could you also share the thing in the end? Like,
Yeah. Today we have to vote. Yes, Deepaji.
Sir, both the first and the second one, sir. It's a new experience for me because I'm just in the beginning, trying to apply whatever is being taught here, and it is getting clarified after the application.
So you are in the A and B camp.
Yeah.
Okay. So at 8:14, only Padmaji is standing alone in the B camp. Rest are all in the A and the B camp.
you are the only one, sir, always alone.
So Padmaji is unafraid to be all alone. So let us see what her dear friend Shubhaji does. What would you vote for, Shubhaji?
I am for A and B, sir.
Oh my God, you ditched Padmaji.
Oh, Brutus.
No, I didn't have that knowledge of Brahman before. As you said, if somebody would call me a monkey or a donkey, I would get so upset. So that's why I'm going with the A and B. Yes.
Okay. All right. So
I was way too
But
sensitive.
Shubha,
Sir.
but that's the application part, no? Doesn't
Yeah.
mean you didn't know you are Brahman,
Mm. Yeah, but
isn't it?
the examples sir gave, no, if somebody calls you a donkey or a monkey or some hurtful things they say, I would get very, very upset, and that would go on for days. That upset thing. Now that doesn't bother me. So this Aparoksha Anubhuti Tattva Bodha I did learn that those are all just outward things. That's not something you get deeper into.
wonderful.
Okay.
So Padmaji is still all alone, standing in the
Yeah.
beach.
Yeah.
So,
Sir, the journey is to become fearless when you stand alone, no? So I am.
So Padmaji, there are
Probably
many
because
examples.
Padmaji, you were more spiritual beforehand. We just had this Jnanodaya later.
God.
okay. So, yeah, Saranji, you want to say something?
Yeah, I was just saying, but there are, I think, many occasions for the new experience. At work, like I used to always think that, like, what, I should stand out and have this competing nature, excel, this, that, right? And then later on, you realize that it's like if you are in a ship and if there's a hole, how much ever you do, okay, you have to go and fix it. So it is not about like one being better than the entire. We're all sharing the same thing, and so if you connect to it, that limitedness, that separation, right? It fades. It's no more you are separate. That it's a clear illusion. This is the boundary which we draw. The COVID. I was again a eye opener from Vedanta point of view, right? You can be like rich or poor or like advanced nation versus developing nation. Like where is the boundary? Where is the limitedness? Where is that I? I was gone, and like everyone was together with whatever they were doing, and I feel like it's still like it just came to just poke everyone, saying that, okay, can you go back and see what you guys are thinking about yourself? and then like it's just like sitting quiet. Right. So I think that way, like if not for this knowledge, it is very difficult to relate. And if you go and ask someone without this knowledge of Vedanta, they may say that from a science point of view, or this there is a conspiracy. These guys created this virus, and like the man created the virus. They injected it. They want to this. They are going for this bio war, this that. Right? But a lot of these things, what we get right from the knowledge of this is it is clearly like lighting that part of unknown.
Saravanan-ji, you're saying this, but when I remember when the COVID came, I asked, we were in Tattvabodha, and I came and asked sir that if I am creating my world, why will I create COVID? That's what I asked him.
I from the creation point of view, I guess if there are 100 variables, I think that many combinations of creation or objects, I think we can see. That's what I feel like the reason for all the different things that appear, objects that appear in front of us.
Rupaji, what would you choose?
Sir, both A and B, sir.
Oh,
Sir,
Padmaji.
now I really have a question.
Now this is where your clarity is being questioned. You have to stand up and
No. What my question was, when you are writing that sir has written that statement, right? Aparoksha Anubhuti is giving me a new experience. And the second point, right? Which I chose, the B. So, what I wanted to ask is, how do you see these two as different? Is what I'm wanting to ask. Because one of the reason I chose B was that I don't see the A separately, isn't it? Because your experiences, they're always changing, isn't it? Okay. You can classify it as experiences prior to AA, after AA. But nevertheless, it's all experiences. Okay. So, I am going through certain set of
change.
I am going through certain set of experiences. Okay. And only if I decide to label it, there is a before AA and after AA. However, the change is happening in my thought, because of which my experiences are changing, isn't it? So that way, if I see, I don't see a distinction in these 2 points. So if you can clarify why you are saying it in 2 separate ways, I mean, yeah.
The answer can be A alone as well. I'm waiting to get that.
In fact,
Jnani I feel a Jnani may say A. That's it. There is no.
yeah, in fact, the first one also, like Aparoksha Anubhuti is giving me a new experience. The situations are the same. The same situations keep on repeating. In fact, we go in cycles. The same situation keeps on repeating.
Yeah.
But Aparoksha Anubhuti gives us a new experience of the same situation. So how you are looking at it through this knowledge is something which gives you a new experience totally. And the situation remaining the same. It is the same situations, maybe in every house, in every office, in every.
But it is not the same situation, no, Satyaji. Any situation, there is something different, isn't it? It is never the same, is
what I mean to say is, for everyone in a family, the situations are the same. Like, ghar ghar ki kahani. It is like in every family, the situation is the same. In every office, the situation is the same. There may be differences, but in fact, the underlying fact is the separation or the ignorance, which is the underlying fact of every situation. So, Aparoksha Anubhuti is definitely giving us a new experience of the same situation.
So, what I feel is, at the end of the day, the answer depends upon who is answering.
Mm.
So, for example,
Sir, am I still standing alone?
I'll I'll clarify. I'll clarify. So you see, the central assumption is there is a me who's answering.
Mm.
This is me who's answering. So if I have to make a choice, AA is giving me a new experience.
Mm.
So there are two important aspects to look at: me and the experience.
Mm.
What is experience? Generally, experience is an afterthought.
Mm.
Any experience of life is afterthought.
Mm. Mm.
Now, the afterthought, as a somebody, I have to have an afterthought. Correct? So, for example, some child came and hugged. And then afterthought would say, oh, that was my son and I am his father. It was so nice to hug him. So the me there is the father, and the analysis is of the hugging about the other body that came and hugged this body, right? So therefore, to make a choice of A, I have to be somebody. Then only there can be a me and other and experience. Correct?
Mm.
So therefore, the choice of A, when I make a choice of A, then I still have a feeling that I am somebody. So therefore, I am going through experiences, and therefore AA is giving me new experience. Why? Because now this somebody has a new way of looking at life. This somebody is still there,
Yeah.
whatever that may be, and
Yeah.
that somebody is looking at life as, oh, this is another way of looking at life.
Mm.
So now, therefore, the afterthought of the same hugging is, oh, look, what made that body come and move and touch this body? So maybe some analysis like that may happen. Okay, so there is a new lens, but somebody is still wearing the lens.
Mm. Mm. Mm.
So now, only when I'm somebody will I make a choice A.
Mm.
Now, even in choice B, that somebody is still there. And that somebody is still saying that, oh, now I already have gone through these experiences of my life. Now I'm looking at the experience of life with the lens of Aparoksha Anubhuti, which means that I never was suffering.
Mm.
Though it made a feeling, though there was an appearance of a suffering, now I have come to the clarity that I was not suffering. It was an illusion. Like that, somebody is still going through analysis, right? So therefore, depending upon who I ask this question, so when there is that somebodyness has completely dissolved, for who the experience is, where is the experience? And Aparoksha Anubhuti happens to be reflecting that reality.
Direct experience.
Nothing else. Aparoksha Anubhuti, when somebody asked, Krishna was asked, how can you be so calm even amidst all this turmoil? Oh, by the way, this is the reality of life. He had to explain it. So the explanation happens to be Aparoksha Anubhuti. So for Krishna, there is no world, there is no separation, there is no you, there is no me, there is no phenomena, there is no experience as such. It is simply an appearance and disappearance. And whatever may appear and disappear, Ramana Maharshi is totally calm and quiet. If somebody asks, now for the somebody, there is a otherness. For the other, there is a teaching. This is the way life is. So therefore, the choice making depends upon who I think I am. So for that matter, in a way, this is a trick question, you can say. Oh, then, you tricked us into making a choice, and now Padmaji will have a quibble with me. What is your choice, sir? What is your choice? Is it A or B or C? You have to make a choice.
When there is a questionnaire, there's a different answer.
So,
There is this science physics experiment as well, right? When
huh,
an object is seen, an object behaves differently
yeah,
than when it is not seen. Like
yeah.
that, when the question is asked, the answer has to be different than when there is no question.
Yeah. So it's like the light behaves both as a particle and wave,
Yeah.
and where it appears depends upon observer, right? So from which viewpoint you are seeing, there is this famous question in that quantum physics called Schrodinger cat.
Yeah.
Apparently, they have a cat inside a box, and the question is the cat alive or dead? Now, let's say this question is also with a story, right? A wise person, somebody wanted to test a wise person, a jnani, and he brought a box with a cat, and he said, "Oh, jnani, everybody says you're so aware, you can see. Now, tell me, is the cat alive or dead?"
In the box.
In the box. And what he had thought was, if the Gnani chooses alive, he has something in the in that, and he will cut that cat, and he will give death to that cat and open the box and prove the Gnani wrong, and vice versa, right? So he had already planned. He wanted to prove the Gnani wrong. Now, the wise person said, the answer is, it depends upon you. Is the cat dead or alive? To that question, the answer is, it depends upon you. Now this the questioner was puzzled. He said, no. Tell me, is the cat alive or dead? He said, no, it depends upon you. So the choice therefore depends upon you.
Yeah.
That there is a choice, itself can be an illusion.
Yeah.
Because if a choice exists, then it has to exist in the context of other choices, which means that I'm somewhere ignoring the other choices, which means somewhere in my mind, other choices are separate. So therefore, the only thing that can be said is, experience is fleeting, and there is no reality to the experience itself. And somebody came and analyzed it with the lens of before Aparoksha Anubhuti and after Aparoksha Anubhuti. Aparoksha Anubhuti itself is, in terms of jnana, is itself, that whoever is analyzing with the understanding. But the one in whose light all of this is happening, that is the only reality. And for
that is in experience-less state.
And there is no.
Yeah, but then here the question is the fact that the question came. It is that that jiva, that
So he said, who are
mind
you?
is interpreted.
Depends on who are you. He did the same thing that the cat person did to the others.
If I answered, then it's gone. If I don't answer, then it's
So you're damned either way. So maybe Ramana would have said, this is a Tarlek question, go away. I don't know what he would do, but anyway, so all right.
So
So,
that is what it is, right? See, the thing is, when you get this knowledge in Manana Nididhyasana, like when I am by myself, it is it, right? But then the moment the other appears, okay, to the mind, still the mind is operating, right? And the mind, the name is called, and the mind responds saying, yes, I am. And like, then like you are interacting, and when you are interacting, uh, interaction leads to experience. And now it can the experience now can happen with that clarification, uh, uh, pre jnana and post jnana, right? So by myself, it can be uh, it can be in the A state, or like experienceless state, saying, yeah, that's what I am. But when I'm in the transactional view world, like, this experience will happen.
So that in the transaction, that me and that other and that whatever that happened and the so-called experience, all are nothing but, again, appearance, various thought forms that are appearing, right? Are all nothing but various thought forms. The
Yeah.
me is a thought form, the other is a thought form, the interaction is a thought form, the experience is a thought form. So this bundle of thought is what you're constantly looking at.
Correct. If I can stay away from that thought, unattached.
Like how Satyaji said, that so-called bird's eye view, raising a bow. When you raise a bow and see, oh, this is also happening. Again,
But that can happen only post, right? In the transaction, you are in it. You cannot be away and transact. You are in it. Only the post that transaction, you can stay out and look back and see what
You are levitating towards B now. I am not alone.
So, see,
Okay, Padmaji, there you go.
right now, even as all this interaction is happening, have you changed? Have you got modified?
Yeah, now the you is the real you, unmodified.
So it is always the case.
It's always the case.
Has it really happened? Whatever that happened, has it really happened? Meaning what? Is it permanent? Is it Satya? That is the question, right? It is fleeting. That there is no denial of the fact that it is fleeting. That is why the words are appearing and disappearing. It is appearing and disappearing. But has it made any change to you? So in that sense, it's all just a appearance and disappearance.
See, this is where the question is, has it made a change in you? You is that seer. The seer cannot be seen.
But you are the seer. See, right now, even as this experience, in whose presence all this experience is getting illuminated?
Yeah.
In whose light all this body and mind are getting energized and are expressing. So to make a choice in life means I have to be somebody in any choice making. So the choiceless choice is who you are. All right. Any other points about this, or any other comments? Satyaji, Deepaji.
I think in every question, Vijayji, it is I mean, whatever options we obviously feel, there is always the third option. Who is asking or who is answering?
Yeah.
I think there is this third way of looking at. It's not even looking. It's like an obvious thing that we tend to miss when we are taking one side. We are always talking from the perspective of the mind. The situations, the experience is always of the mind. And unless there is something we totally see ourselves beyond all this. In every situation, maybe for every question, there is a third answer. It is neither of any choice that we make or whatever is obvious. All these things are from the perspective of the mind. Any answer we give is from the perspective of the mind, and everything is again it is just like trying to name something, whereas the reality is nameless, formless, and choiceless, birthless, deathless. So that is the sort of clarity with which we need to be. Again, when I'm saying we need to be, again there is a person who is saying that. So it should be like a natural, free flowing state where the river doesn't say that I am going to flow from here and here to there. So that is the natural state that should be.
Excellent. All right. So in our next session, how do we continue? So shall we continue with the day 2 only, or shall we do the others, who are yet to express day 2 questions want to express, or shall we move on to day 3? What is the current thinking?
Then I feel we can start looking at day 3, and
Okay.
then if next week, if they are ready to share, if Shubhaji feels better, if she wants to share, and Rupaji also wants to finish, we can finish and then take up day 3 as well from there.
Okay, so then, okay, let's keep it this way. From next session, we'll start the day 3 related contemplation. And, these are some of the questions from day 3. So we can start contemplating on these questions from day 3 based talk. And if anyone wants to express on day 2, definitely welcome to do so. Is that okay?
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Then let us end our contemplation for today.